Hey, good afternoon everyone. So this is Ansh and today we are going to start with our next topic, that is the SGA component discussion. Uh, so in this topic we will learn about how to execute a SQL query and what and all things that is being occurred at the back end. So in these sections we have to learn about SGA components and the data file storage one and the background processes. What happens in the previous session we have studied about if application team or application server or application user is firing some query like select star from emp. So in actual what is happening at the backend, it is not going to be as a dba. So what to do now? In today's session we will discuss about the background thing, what is happening when a SQL query is triggered, whether it is a DQL, whether it is a DML or DDL. So in our case, what we will study today, suppose if any SQL statement such as update statement is triggered. Suppose there is a table named as EMP. EMP is a table. Schema is a Scott. And suppose you have 14 rows inside this Scott schema. And in one of the row, I want to modify some of the columns. Say update EMP set salary equal to 400. I'm just updating the salary to 400 where ename equal to king. What does this means? You are updating the king's salary to 400 whose earlier salary was 200. In actual, when you will fire this command select star from emp or select star from scott.emp, you will be getting 14 rows, and out of 14 rows you will be getting the details of a Scott schema or king details. In king's detail, you will see that the king's salary is 200. Now you are going to update the emp table whose column name is salary. You wanted to update to 400 instead of 200, whose name is king. This is our objective, and application team has fired this query, or application user has fired this query. So in returns, what you will get, one row updated. If I'll fire this query in the SQL sessions, you have been studied about if you'll fire or if you'll trigger this query, you will be seeing that one row updated. But how this happens? You are not aware with. Let me frame this query once again. Suppose this is a SQL, and if you are using UPDAT, you missed E. Okay, EMP where ename equal to king and salary equal to 400. So you'll say, okay, the statement is wrong because the syntax what update statement has is not matching the sequence which you are triggering. In this statement, while firing this DML operations, you'll be getting error. In such situation, what to do? You have to fire the correct statement, and there are n number of things. Who will check that this statement is correct or not? If you are updating or if you are firing a query whose statement is only wrong, syntax is wrong, or any keywords is wrong, or whether the table name is not residing under that schema, and you have mentioned the wrong schema name and database object name, then how the execution will be successful? In that case, obviously you will be getting an error if you are feeding the wrong input. So to identify, to validate what and all things that happening in the backend, that we will be discussing in the today's session. So starting from here, if you are triggering some SQL query like update statement, so as soon as the user trigger the SQL statement, what happens? It will directly go to SGA. And what I am telling SGA, that means it will reach to our memory component. First of all, it will go to a memory component, and in memory, which component? SGA. What is SGA now? It is a system global area. And one more thing you can say, this is the logical area. In this area, you will be getting all the backend informations while you are triggering an update statement. So as soon as someone has triggered this update statement, it will reach to shared pool. Under shared pool, there is two components, what we call as a library cache, and the second one is data dictionary cache. So in library cache, what happens basically? In library cache and data dictionary cache, or as a whole, you can consider as a shared pool. In shared pool component, parsing take place. So you'll be saying, what is parsing now? Parsing is a new concept, new keyword that you are going to understand in the today's session. So in parsing, what happens basically, when a SQL query is triggered, it reaches to shared pool, and under shared pool, the parsing phenomenon takes place. And in parsing, you can say syntax check happens. If you are triggering a query and if syntax is wrong, then and there you will be getting an error, and the area where you will be getting this error is in shared pool. And if the SQL query is correct, the statement and the syntax is correct, then you will be executing and moving this query to the next SQL area. So in the parsing scenario, what happens, there is a two type of check, that is a syntax check, where all the syntax is being checked of a SQL query. Along with that, you will be getting the information that whether the keywords you are triggering is correct or not, whether the syntax of the DML or DDL operation is correct or not. Each and everything will be checked in this parsing phenomena, and under parsing you will be seeing that it is a syntax check. The second thing you will be coming here to know is semantic check. What happens in semantic check? In semantic check, there is two things which is happening at the backend. Number one, it will check for the database object name. That means EMP. What is EMP? EMP is a database object. Database object means a table, sequence, trigger, procedure, packages, functions. So this EMP is a table. So what we call as a database objects. If you are updating a database object, what we call as a table, so is this table is present in the database or not? This is the first thing. So you should mention here, it validates the table, if table is present or not, or what we call as a database is present, database object is present or not. The second thing, it will check for the privilege, and we can say that privilege check is also happening in this area under shared. You'll be saying, okay, what type of privilege check? Suppose, let me show you something. If you are firing some command like select star from scott.emp, and currently you are logged in with the sys user. Sitting on the sys user, you are triggering this statement, select star from scott.emp. Obviously, sys is a super user. When you will trigger any statement, if scott emp user scott schema is present, under that emp schema database object is there, then you will be getting an output that okay, these are the 14 rows or whatever rows is there, you'll be getting as an output. But what if you are logged in with some other user like HR, like ABC, and you are triggering the same statement, even it is select, update, insert, anything. If you are firing the same statement, will you be getting the output or not? This should be your question. So yes, we can get the output. Obviously, sitting on other user and you want to fetch the records of a Scott schema, you'll be getting as an output. But the case will be only and only if you have the rights or privileges given to the HR user. If HR user has the privileges to access the Scott schema, that is EMP table, then only you will be able to get an output sitting on the HR user. And how to do, so if you don't have the privileges, HR is not having the privileges, then you cannot fire this query. Even if you fire this query, you won't get any output because it lacks the privileges. So in case of providing the privileges, we will come in the later sections how we can provide the privileges to HR to view Scott's database objects. It's very simple. The command is very simple. Grant what privileges you want to give, select on which schema Scott, which database object EMP to HR user. That's it. If you want to revoke the permission, then you can easily use the command select revoke select on scott.emp from HR. So with the help of these two commands, you can give some privileges to a particular user, or you can revoke it. So in syntax semantic check, what happens? First of all, it will check whether the DB object is present or not, whether the table is present or not whenever you are triggering a update statement. The second thing what you will observe is that the schema you are logged in, right? Like sys user, you have logged in and you are triggering the update statement to update another schema's database object. Whether you have the access to sys schema, you have the privilege, sys schema should have the privilege to access this Scott's object, then only you will be getting an update, one row updated statement. Else you will be getting a insufficient privileges and will be getting an error. So these two things will be checked in semantic check. Then moving forward, after this, after syntax check and semantic check, we have another type of check, what we call as a privilege check, which is also considered here only. I have already mentioned the privilege check here. Let me close this one and open again. Okay, so this is a diagram. So what we have understand till now is we are now going to update a statement, update a table, like update EMP table. I'm going to set a salary to 400 whose earlier salary was 200, where set sal equal to 400, where name equal to king. So as soon as application user trigger this query, what happens? It will reach to our SGA component, that is a memory component. Under SGA there is a sub component called shared pool. It will reach to shared pool, and one phenomenon take place, what we call as a parsing. And parsing is just a syntax check and semantic check. Just now we have discussed, it will check for the syntax, whether the syntax of this update statement is correct or not. Second, it will check for the keywords, whether you have used the correct keyword or not. If spelling or syntax is wrong of the keywords, you will be getting an error. Second most thing what you will be getting is the semantic check. Under semantic check, there is two things. Number one, if you are updating some table, so this table is existing in that database or not. This is the first thing, whether DB object is present at the DB level or not. And number second, when you are triggering this query, then you have been logged in with some user like sys or HR. So you are triggering this query update statement from HR user. So HR user has access or has the privileges to update other schema object. If HR doesn't have the privileges to access other schema object, then and there it will throw an error. If both things are correct, if syntax checks are validated and semantic checks is also validated, then it will move to another process, another phase, what we call as a preparation of execution plan. In this case, what happens in actual, that after successful parsing like syntax check and semantic check, n number of plans is being prepared, n number of plans generated, and this plans is based on multiple factors. We are going to study on in more details in the upcoming sessions, but today I'm giving the overview of the execution plan, execution of the SQL statement. So after syntax and semantic check, after the successful parsing, n number of execution plan is generated. N number of execution plans means what? That means, suppose if you are generating a plan, if you are planning for a vacation, so what you will keep in mind? Number one, that you will be getting less cost, right? In the least cost you will get maximum output. This is the ultimate goal. Means you want to be happy, you want to visit a lot of places, and you want to enjoy a lot. Means you are getting more output, and you try to do that all the things in the less cost. So according to that, suppose you are at Kolkata and you are planning to go to Leh Ladakh, which is our dream place for bachelors to go on. So if you're planning from Kolkata to Leh Ladakh, there are a number of ways to go from Kolkata to Leh Ladakh. It can be via airways, it can be via roadways, it can be via railways. Multiple communication mode is there. So if we'll try with airways, it will cost more. If we'll try with railways, it will take more number of days, and it will cost some less time. But you will try with roadways, you will enjoy a lot, and the output will be more, but the cost will be pretty much higher, because while traveling with roadways you will be getting a lot number of challenges, hurdles. You will be getting you have to stay somewhere, you have to spend some nights a day, you have to invest something on petrol in your foodings, lodging, and everything. So you can use any number of ways. So if you will try with airways, there is a number of plans you can consider. Like if you're going with airways, you can go via Delhi, or you can go via Mumbai, and then you will go to Ladakh. So there are a number of plans that you will prepare before planning for a vacation. So ultimate goal is to achieve more output with the less cost, with the minimal cost. So in this scenario also, a SQL statement is being executed on the very minimal cost with the more output, because ultimate goal of our DBA is to increase the efficiency of a database. Here efficiency means the performance. So ultimate goal is to improve the performance of the database. So we are not responsible that whenever the query will be triggered, you as a DBA have to work on it. For every query you have to assign some DBA. No. At the backend, these plans is being getting generated. N number of plans is being generated for a single SQL statements. So among n number of plans, what happens? The best plan will be selected. For the execution of SQL statement, out of n number of plans, suppose there are n number of execution plans are being prepared, and out of n number of plans there may be 100 plans. Say as 100 plans, and out of 100 plans, any plan should be better than the earlier plan. So out of 100 plans, the best plan will be selected. Best plan will be selected, and the best plan will be selected on the basis of minimal resource consumed, higher cost, and minimum time also you can consider. But the most best plan will be selected. Okay, less resource will be utilized, less cost will be happening, and you'll be getting the more output. On the basis of these three parameters, you should be selecting the best possible plans. But you'll say, okay, who will be the person or any backend process who will be selecting the plan? So in this case, there is a optimizer. This optimizer will select the best execution plan, and based on the best execution plans means less resource consumed, less cost, and more output. The optimizer will select the best possible plan and execute a query you will be getting an output. Now you'll be saying what is optimizer, so we'll discuss in the later sections, but as of now you should understand that optimizer is not a process and nothing. It is just a sets of programs. It's a sets of programs, means in Oracle has provided this optimizer facility. As per optimizer only, you can say Oracle is charging a huge licensing cost, because optimizer has the responsibility to select the best plan. If optimizer is misguided, if he is selecting or she means if it is selecting the bad plan, then you have the authority, you are the responsible person to correct optimizer. If optimizer is misguided, then you have the authority to make optimizer realize that you are selecting the wrong possible plans. Select this plan, this will give the better output and the query execution will be faster. So optimizer is a set of programs which have been provided by the oracles, and number of procedures, PL SQL codes is being written. As per that only optimizer selects the best. So we have gone through this shared pool part under library cache and data dictionary cache. So everything will happen under library cache and data dictionary cache. So in the later sections we will discuss more about this and we will move to the database buffer caching. So till then we are good to close the call. Thank you everyone.